Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be watching a bunch of trailers that came out today from the recent Nintendo Direct. These are all going to be on their YouTube channel, Nintendo of America. They'll be linked down in the description if you want to check them out for yourself, but we're going to be watching them muted because Nintendo scares me. I hope you understand. Now, the ones we're going to watch is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, the Pokemon Legends ZA, Rhythm Heaven, Tamagotchi Shadow Labyrinth, and the Virtual Card Game. And honestly, all of these games are interesting and just have a lot of either good history, obviously, like Pokemon and the Tomodachi thing is coming back. Same with the Rhythm Heaven Groove one as well. And the virtual card system is just interesting, honestly. Just before we start them, I'd like to please remind, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and once I do, I'll be doing a Q&A video, so if you're interested in that, please subscribe. I also do a thing called Two Buds at One podcast with my friend Games, so please go into the description and check that out too if you're anything interested in it. So this is the Metroid 4 Prime Beyond trailer, and we're going to get it's a very good sequence of the the environment. But once we get into the actual gameplay, it gets pretty interesting. We've seen some gameplay of Metroid Prime 4 before, but this is the first mainline game in a while. If I remember correctly, Metroid Prime 3 was GameCube, wasn't it? Was there one on the Wii? There might have been one on the Wii. And it looks pretty good. The funny thing about this trailer is there's a person narrating this, but it's interesting that she has the hand now with the scanning, because I don't remember her ever showing the hand with the scanning feature. This is the first combat that the trailer actually shows off, and honestly, the combat looks pretty good. It looks good. It's got the same. It's the same lock-on system as all the other Metroid Prime games, but I mean, Metroid Prime the aiming has never been a big deal when it comes to Metroid Prime, and that's totally fine. And it just looks, just like good fun, honestly. And that's kind of all we're going for Metroid Prime. This is where it gets really interesting, because I don't remember Samus having the mind power stuff before. And this is going to be the real difference changer between the different games. Because before it was just suit upgrades, but now like she's actually got mind powers, basically. And it looks like that's part of the puzzle mechanics as well, which is going to be pretty interesting. And then it's got this whole this looks really cool, honestly. I so interested in this. That's really cool. Yeah, so yeah, this is another. I wonder if that's a puzzle or if you're just supposed to do it all the way, or if you're supposed to only do it partly way or something like that. It'd be interesting to see that. But we can tell this is like how Samus is getting the powers, the purple powers. Yeah, so many different things. Good questions though. Like it's got good amount of questions as well for because we don't know everything. And we still got the missiles as well. I'm glad that the standard Samus outfit and not outfit, sorry, the Samus equipment is still there with the regular gun, the missiles, the ball form, everything's still that, which is good. And it's coming this year too. Probably Q4. But I'm super excited for this game, honestly, because I haven't played a Metroid Prime game in a long time. I think I remember there one maybe being on the Wii. So that was probably the last time I played it. And I never played the remake, the 2D game that came out. So I'm interested in this one. I'm pretty excited, honestly. The next trailer is going to be the Pokemon one. And this one is I'm going to skip through most of these trailers because the reason I want to talk about this trailer is holy cow, man, the graphics, they're so bad. And it makes me so sad that the graphics, for Pokemon games are so bad, because I really want to play this one simply because of the different battle mechanics once we get to the trailer, because this is all just in the X and Y city. The real-time combat seems so interesting to me, and with the different ways you can time moves and stuff like that, and even the sneaking up on people and stuff like that too. But everything else just looks so bad, and I feel like this is going to be a big hindrance on this Switch, and I wonder how well this is actually going to run, or if this is how edited this is to make it the frame rate look better, because I can't imagine the frame rate doing any better than what it has been before. I also do kind of find it funny that the wild zones exist for wild Pokemon and you can capture them. And it's kind of a funny concept that like they have these wild zones so wild Pokemon can exist, but then you can just go in and capture them like normal, which is kind of funny in my opinion. It's like you have a zoo inside your city that you can capture Pokemon in. And I'm curious if you can capture Pokemon outside of the zones. I think you can only do it in the zones, which is an interesting take. And the royale of ranking up is honestly, I actually like that concept. And once again, the thing I'm most excited about in this game is the real time combat. I think it's such an interesting take. It's just I feel like first of all, I wonder if that means all the moves now have proper animations because before all the moves didn't have proper animations for all of the Pokemon. So I wonder if that because of this that's changed. And I also wonder how it if it's going to run properly because I wonder if you use certain moves the game might just like lag out crazily or how many moves will miss because of lag. That's like the biggest question in my opinion because like how well does this combat system do when the frame starts to drop because it's going to because it's Pokemon. And that's just a unfortunate thing that is in the Pokemon games now is that you have to compensate for lag. So I'm curious how this is actually going to run properly. But like I said, it's honestly one of the more interesting concepts. It's just I might not be able to play it because the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet had so much lag and so much frame drop that it actually made me motion sick for how like laggy some of the zones can be when I was watching people play it. So I didn't buy it myself because I'd be so painful for me to play. Now this one, honestly, I have no connection to the Rhythm Heaven set of games, but I saw people freaking out when I was watching this live and I'm very happy for them. For me, I personally am not a huge fan of rhythm games, but this style of rhythm game is pretty. It does look pretty fun. Like when you get into the later in the trailer and it shows all the different variants of the thing. I think it's at the very end of the trailer, right? Yeah, this part of the trailer when it's different things of the rhythm. Honestly, yeah, makes sense, honestly. And I kind of understand why people love these styles of games. And honestly, if I was to play one of these games, it'd probably be something like this because I think this is probably at least in the early stages, will probably be more casual for a person like me that isn't really into rhythm games. We do have to wait for 2026 for this one. So that will take probably that one for me personally. I'm not as into, but I'm really happy for the people that have been really wanting another game like this because from like Rhythm Heaven is a long-standing series, so a lot of people are very excited for a new one. Now this game, Shadow Labyrinth, if you can't believe it, this is a Pac-Man game, which is hilarious. And this kind of reminds me of the TV show that they did, the one episode TV show that styled like Love, Death and Robots. It's not called Love, Death and Robots, but it's that style of show. And maybe this is probably why this is probably based on this because Pac-Man this is not the Pac-Man I used to know and this is messed up in so many ways. But it looks really fun honestly and I'm totally down for this style of game for like Pac-Man being your little companion person. It's so interesting to see and yeah, just look at that. Look at that. That's so insane. This is a Pac-Man game and I just can't believe that this is a Pac-Man game. And honestly, I'm down. Can't wait to see. I hope this game. I'm going to be playing this game, and I just can't wait to see the future of these styles of games. And what is the full name? Escape the Maze. Yeah, Escape the Maze was a big deal in that episode as well. Become the apex predator. Yep. See, I know that Pac-Man like is here. It's so interesting to me that it's Nintendo Switch exclusive too. Interesting. Or I wonder if it is, or if this is just because it's the Nintendo trailer. It's so interesting to me that this like their Pac-Man branding isn't anywhere. It's not like Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth. It's just called Shadow Labyrinth, and obviously there's Pac-Man in it, and they're using the Pac-Man character. But it's so interesting to me. The game looks so insane and I just want to play it because this must be what they were basing that episode off of. Because when I saw them, like, how is this based on Pac-Man? It's because it's based off of this. Now, this is the last game trailer that we're going to be watching, simply because there are so many games and we could talk about them forever. But this was this was definitely the most hype I saw for a lot of people because Tomodachi Life has a surprising amount of fans and very dedicated fans of these styles of games. And this is the first one in 10 years. So I'm excited for their excitement, and I'm kind of interested in playing this game too because it's just interesting. It's if from what I can tell, it's kind of like The Sims because I actually don't know if Tamagotchi is it like I don't know if that's a brand or like a style of something that I just don't know that exists, but I'm totally down to try this out. And this also is hilarious. Why is she huge? Why is she so big? Why is she so big? I don't get it. And it was just a dream though. And then she's back here. I don't get it. I'm not sure if I get it. Maybe I get it. I don't think I get it. But I've never played this style of game. I don't know if it's like The Sims or if it's like something else or something in between. But I'm interested in this trailer is weird or not weird. I mean, the ending is weird, but I'm just interested in what the game's going to be. And the final thing we're going to talk about is the virtual game card. Now, this reminds me of the Steam family share system, if anyone knows that. Basically, a virtual card can be linked to your Switch through the eShop, and these virtual game cards can be transferred to another Switch via the internet and stuff like that, and then will be returned later within like a 2 week time frame back to the original Switch. So you can lend a digital game, which is really, I'm surprised Nintendo has done this, but I think the real reason they've done this is to help between Switch 1 and Switch 2 users, because they did say that Switch 2, it's compatible between these two games, and because then you can transfer the virtual games you have on your Switch to put it into your Switch 2 games. Because also Nintendo does some weird stuff with accounts sometimes, so it might be that's one of the reasons. But it's just a big deal that they always talk about being a family system, but the eShop, you've never been able to actually do a share system like this. So it's really interesting. And another big deal is like it says down in here, internet connection is only required when loading or injecting. So you don't need internet to play the games once you have them, which is really good. And being able to share them is amazing between two systems. And I could see families getting a ton of use of this. Me personally, I don't think I'm going to be using it that much, but like I really love the concept of this. And from what I can tell, it is basically the Steam sharing system, the family sharing system on Steam, which I'm not saying they stole this or anything like that, but that's at least how I recognize it. And look at that, you could even use it for the family group too. And the Switch Lite with the regular Switch to the Switch Lite, and it's just like so nice to actually be able to do this. Especially, I think this is going to be a huge deal for families, and I'm just honestly I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it yet, but I'm so glad that they actually are doing it now. I think it's just a really big deal for the family sharing. I think that's going to be a huge deal, and yeah, it's just one of those things that Nintendo's doing to actually make it easier for people to play games and not having to buy a game. Because like if you can now families don't have to buy multiple copies of a digital game potentially. So that's interesting to see that Nintendo is totally fine with that. And to be fair, it is still on their like account system. You still need probably a Nintendo account and all that type of stuff, but I think that's a small price to pay for this style of thing. So those were the things that I really enjoyed from the Nintendo Direct. There was a lot of JRPG games and remasters that were announced of those JRPGs, but unfortunately, I don't really have history with them. And so like the nostalgia for me isn't there. So maybe I'll do a future video of me talking about them without the nostalgia after playing them. But other than that, I can't really say anything to those RPGs. I'm happy for the people that are happy that about them coming, but I honestly haven't played any of them. And I don't have the nostalgia value for them either. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. I understand. If you'd like to check me out on other places, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads on any of those social media platforms at The Technic Jelly. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye everyone.